We are finally back on the road. We are marching on once again with Southampton Football Club due to some technical issues earlier with the internet connection. We were slightly delayed, but we are back and we are continuing the defence of the Emirates FA Cup. We're in the quarter-final against Leicester City, and it's Sunday, March 17th, 2019, so we'll just jump into the fixture. Standard home kits between the two sides. Probably going to go with the I'm going to go with the FA Cup team because I think this will be a more difficult game against Leicester City than previous rounds have been, and just making sure we've got a strong bench for this game. Gabbiadini, Guerrero not in. I think I'll keep it like that, with the physicality of Van Dijk on the bench if we need to bring him on, the firing prowess of Arkadiusz Milik, the pace of Martinez up front, and the technical ability of Max Meyer. Of course, we've got Rueda as well as extra cover at the back. James Ward-Prowse, our star man this season. So we're going to go with this lineup today. In goal, we're going to start with Arrizabalaga. Right back, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Centre half of Malang Sarr and captain Jack Stevens. Left back, Marc Cucurella. Hold midfield, Fabinho. Right and left is Edwards and Barco. Attacking in midfield is Douglas Luiz. And up front, we're going to go with Vitinho and Rui Pedro. And hoping that we get to the next stage of the competition. Big game. I never usually bother with these. Yeah, I could score about 89 of these free kicks in the practice mode. Comes to the proper game and I don't score. FIFA. Gotta love it. So here we go. The Emirates FA Cup at the King Power Stadium. Leicester City versus Southampton. It's a 1:30 PM kickoff. This game probably will be broadcasted on BT Sport or ITV. And already the ruckus sound from the crowd. A potential semi-final game between us and either Chelsea or Birmingham will be in the cards.
Number 21, Ibarra. Number 9,
Players to watch from either side. Islam Slimani, maybe the more experienced. Vitinho, a man who I signed last January as cover for my injured strikers. A strong Leicester team. Despite a couple of names that I don't really recognise, like Bell and Melendo, that strong team nonetheless. And there's my side, which we already know about. So, without any further delay, let's get into the game. Leicester versus Southampton. The defence of the FA Cup continues. And Diddy on the ball. He's moved it out here to Patrick Van Aanholt, who's moved from Crystal Palace in the game. Vardy and... oh god, I've not even gotten control of the ball yet. There's Fabinho. Douglas Luiz. Vitinho. Oh, you got lucky there. Lucky again. Jack Stevens. Out right for Marcus Edwards. Luiz. Fabinho. And there's Cucurella. The ball seems to be moving quite slowly from it at the moment. Here's Rui Pedro peeling off of the defender. Pedro with the ball in. Not the best from the forward, although it's not his pronounced trait. There's Ezequiel Barco. Arnold. He'll get forward. And Vardy takes him down. A bit of a rash tackle from the Englishman. And remember what I said about how I could score about 89 free kicks in the practice and not score it in the actual game? Well, it's a good thing this is quite far out because I was never going to go for it. This will probably be a failure. Oh, it went through the wall this time. There's Cucurella, Vitinho. Oh, Leicester playing really tight there. Either that as I wasn't paying attention. But Leicester moving the ball out. Here's Ndidi to Jamie Vardy and Malang Sarr. Fabinho, Cucurella, moving the ball forward. Smart Cucurella, Douglas Luiz, Vitinho. Okay. What did I do wrong there? I've been off the game for a couple of days, so I'm feeling slightly, well, I shouldn't say I feel rusty, but I don't feel as fresh as what I usually am. But here's Vitinho for Marcus Edwards. Edwards breaking away into the box, wants to get onto his favoured left foot. And Leicester able to cover themselves from some perilous danger at the back. And here's Musa. A very quick lightning forward in this game. Gave me problems last season, him and Jamie Vardy in one of the games. There's Melendo. I've never heard of this fella. Here's Ndidi. And there's Ezequiel Barco. Vitinho pulling out from the middle. Vitinho, he's got Barco cutting back inside. It's Barco! Barco! Good save by Kasper Schmeichel. And Edwards to the rescue there. Fabinho out wide for Trent Alexander-Arnold, who pulls it out to Marcus Edwards. Edwards crosses it in the box just beyond Vitinho. A Sparada, a salmon-like dive from I don't know who the hell that was. There's Jack Stevens out for Arnold. Cucurella. Not the ball I was hoping to play. I was wanting it more inside the box, but here we go, defending again. Jamie Vardy and Malang Sarr standing tall, standing strong, the big man. Here's Vitinho, Edwards. He's got Van Aanholt with him. He's going to take Van Aanholt on, and he's intercepted by the Dutchman. Just close there from Cucurella. Arnold switches back out wide to Cucurella. Looks to Barco. Barco disguised pass to Rui Pedro. Cucurella. Fabinho. A more cautious approach from my Southampton side here. Just trying to look for that opening through Leicester. I think they're playing 4-4-2 possibly. It's the standard 4-4-2 formation I was once a massive fan of, and I always thought was the best formation that any team could play in football. But obviously, as the game has progressed and been ever changing, a lot more managers are usually comfortable either just having the one forward, someone behind who can not only attack and assist the striker, but also drop back into the midfield and support there as well. And also being able to ball possession is such a massive thing, especially when people do say that it's not always about ball possession that wins you games, but when you do have the ball and you're in good control of it, it does naturally work out in your favour, in my opinion. Because any mistake by not having the ball, it can be very costly. Here's Arnold. Fabinho is going to go for goal. It's blocked, and it is a corner. It's Marcus Edwards to the corner. Out swinging from Edwards. No one there to match it, but here is Barco. He's got two men on him. He uses Cucurella. Jack Stevens. Arnold. This game feels quite slow. It's not been very paced, but an opening for possibly Luiz! Oh, he's hit the bar! And it just ricocheted off of Kasper Schmeichel as he came back down, and that is what Southampton can do. That is what Douglas Luiz can do when he is given an opening with no one around him. That's the kind of danger that Southampton possess. And here's Arnold, Fabinho, Luiz for Fabinho, and Pedro's offside. At least I thought he was offside, and he's hit the bar. And Leicester City have just been given what would even be classed as a minor scare. They've just been given two fights at the back. But now here come Leicester on the counter attack, and Arrizabalaga saves from Malendo for what sounds like a Spanish name. I'm hoping it's right, but a big miss for Leicester. Now here's Vitinho. Good control of the ball, put under a bit of pressure by Leicester City. It feels a bit scrappy. Vitinho's down, Fabinho's lost the ball, and the referee has not decided to bring a halt to the game at the moment. Slimani was there, but here's Jack Stevens. Vitinho does have a knock at the moment, but he's continuing on. Douglas Luiz. Here's Rui Pedro. Pedro looking for the outstretched one of Edwards, who was bloody offside. I knew he was offside. And I'm willing to risk Vitinho. I mean, I know he's hurt. I'm willing to risk him just for the next 10 minutes. I think he'll be fine. It's 0-0. I don't particularly feel like I'm under any pressure to have him off the pitch. Barco, Luiz doesn't have the room. He wants to turn and do what he did a few moments ago. Here's Arnold, Luiz, Fabinho. Luiz drifted inside, and there is the opening goal from Douglas Luiz. It's taken time, it's maybe taken longer than what we would have hoped, but we do have the opening goal from Douglas Luiz. And it's a sore blow for Leicester City. To be fair, they've not really shut in either. They've came forward at times. They started the game off a lot better than what I thought they would. And the goal maybe might just rock them, but they've got a few minutes until half time. I'm sure, well, still Craig Shakespeare in this game. Also the former Mr. Plell in real life is now taking charge of Leicester City. And there's a wonderful ball by Barco, and Marcus Edwards is in here. Is he going to finish it? And he does! And the goal has definitely rocked Leicester City. They were caught chasing at the back. A wonderful long ball from Ezequiel Barco. And Marcus Edwards may have to watch. He could receive a yellow card from the official. It's directly in front of the Leicester City home crowd. But it is a second goal. Marcus Edwards on his right foot as well, on the bounce, has doubled the advantage. Kasper Schmeichel, Leicester City let down, and it is 2-0 to the Saints. And what appeared to be a very, very mild, slow end to that first half has suddenly exploded, and it did come from some cautious, precise play from the likes of Fabinho and Douglas Luiz in the middle of the park for the first goal. And then Leicester were caught trying to attack on the counter, and that is what we are capable of doing. Here's Vitinho, still managed to find Pedro, who tries to find Barco, who... I don't know how the referee was going to impede him there, for I felt he was trying to run for the ball, for God's sakes. Slimani. Van Aanholt to Iborra, and here is Musa. Gets away from Jack Stevens. Quick. It's Musa. Arrizabalaga not taking chances with that. Musa again. Ball back into the box. Barco. The last person I thought would get that ball. And here's Marc Cucurella. Vitinho. Rui Pedro. And here's Vitinho. Is it going to be 3? Are we going to end the tie now? And probably with his last touch of the game before he's brought off at half time, or depending on what happens in the next 15 minutes, Vitinho has all but buried Leicester City's chances of a comeback in this game. They say it does take time for good things to come, and Southampton waited patiently for 38 minutes on the clock to seal that first opening goal, and now they've just opened Leicester City up. It's a horror show at the back, and the Leicester fans, as silent as they are, and you can see Vitinho, he can't even celebrate properly in the track back to the half. Normally when you see the player give a yes to themselves, he's clinging his shoulder. There's the half-time whistle, and I probably will bring Vitinho off. I don't want to take any chances, any risks with him. So we'll assess that situation. I could probably bring on Martinez just to really punch Leicester's defence in at the back. And after what was a patiently built up first half, it did have us going forward a lot. We just couldn't really get that clear-cut chances until we hit the bar a couple of times. Still at 0-0. There was a fluffed shot from Ndidi, but we've not really been too pressured by Leicester. They did have that chance from Molendo, and here it is, Douglas Luiz. That was the effort that hit the bar, and if that happens, see in a game online, you immediately concede, but when it's you attacking, it just doesn't happen for you. But here it was, the slow, patient build-up that led to the first goal from Douglas Luiz. Here was the other goal from Marcus Edwards. I don't think he was reprimanded for that, fortunately. The referee understood the magic of the FA Cup overcomes. There was a slight half chance. If Vardy had been in front of Arrizabalaga, putting him under a bit of pressure, you never know what could have happened there. And here it was, Vitinho, and it's just the story of Leicester's first half, when the left back Van Aanholt was the one chasing back in the middle against Vitinho. So at half time, it is Leicester City 0, Southampton 3. And we will make that change for Vitinho. He's clinging on to the shoulder. I'll go with Martinez. Just I don't think Milik and Pedro would be the combined force that I would want up front. Milik's not exactly the quickest. He is deadly, but not the quickest. So we'll go with Martinez. A lot pacier. Can certainly get past defenders a lot more quicker and agile. Barco, Cucurella into the box. Martinez is there, and immediately he has more than just put Leicester to the sword. And that has certainly sealed the fate of Leicester City. Bell caught off the shoulder of Martinez by at least a few yards, and it was never going to be a miss. If it was a miss, I'd be very disappointed. I'd be asking Martinez to be training himself up in headers and training. And lo and behold, first goal in the FA Cup for Arturo Martinez. And right at the start of the second half, it's a big sucker punch for Leicester, and there you can see it's just not going to happen for Craig Shakespeare's men. And I hope Claude Puel, if he did see this happening, would immediately know what Leicester should do to change their style of play. It's certainly been maybe a bit too cautious from themselves. But here's Douglas Luiz. He's not surely going to add. Well, we should have added a fifth. And he even looks up and thinks, what on earth have I done there? Poor miss from Douglas Luiz. He should be putting it into the bottom corner. And Kasper Schmeichel giving that sigh of relief. And Arnold putting the pressure on Musa, knocking him back down. Here's Marcus Edwards. There's Martinez, back to Edwards, brilliant from Southampton here. Edwards, that long ball over the top, it's not going to find Barco. Here's Slimani. Marcus Edwards takes the ball back again. Martinez, disguised little pass on the outside for Pedro, who shrugs off the pressure, and it's a corner. And there's the shot conversion, the one off the bar, the one going in, and that miss there that should never have happened for Luiz, but it did. But it's fine with that 4-goal advantage. I can slightly forgive him for that. And I don't know what's going on. What's here? What? Well, what I thought was going to be another goal, it's turned out not to be another goal. And I don't know what happened there. Probably one of the weirdest little mix-ups of play in the box that I've seen in this game, and as always, it never benefits me in the long run. And here's Ezekiel Barco, him and Cucurella. I'm sure they've got the same boots on. Barco, here's Pedro, Luiz, Fabinho. Creates room for himself. Fabinho! I think the young boy Bell took a belter off the dish, and here's the sub Daniel Marte coming on for Victor Iborra. At this point, you would just think these changes are just to give these guys a bit of game time at their club. It's 4-0 to Southampton. I don't really see what's going to happen in the next 30 minutes. It's going to change in Leicester's favour. It's certainly been the game that I didn't expect. I was expecting a lot closer, because Leicester City have, in the two games I've played against them last season, they gave me a damn good scare in both games. Different this season, which for me it's a good thing. And there's Mr. Shakespeare. If he's watching the broadcast, you're still on a job at Leicester, so all's good in the Shakespeare household in terms of FIFA. Still picking up that in-game wage packet, which is another thing. It's been a shame to see what's happened at Leicester, and I mean, well, I know a couple of people that don't really care what happened with Leicester, or since they won the league and ever since Ranieri was sacked, which when you looked at it from the outside as a non-fan of Leicester, you're more critical of the decision made, and I'm pretty sure not every single Leicester fan on the planet today at the time all agreed and said Ranieri shouldn't have been sacked, he should have still been in a job. Personally, I didn't think he should be sacked, and I'm sure there was maybe some fans that, you know, you always get some fans in football clubs that will go against the grain, but it was a shame when he did lose his job. I don't think it was the most distasteful thing in the world. But at the end of the day, the owners made a decision, and it did pay off for them in the end. And then it's when you hear about what happened to Craig Shakespeare and how the players came out, they were beyond dejected. They were, I think in some quarters you could say they were very frustrated with the people that pay them their wages every week. Despite not displaying the action on the park, which at the end of the day, to me, it's down to the players to, you know, the managers have a job, yes, they've got a responsibility, but, you know, it can only go as far, and it's difficult. It's really difficult. I can say that some managers deserve a sacking and some don't, but I'll always say at the end of the day, the players are on the pitch, and despite what actions and instructions they're told to do, you know, there should always be that motivation to go out there and to perform at your best, because that's what you're ultimately paid the money to do so. And if you don't perform to that level, and you know you can and you're not doing it, that's when it's a problem where, unfortunately, it's managers that lose their jobs for either the squad not playing well due to the fact that there's a big difference level in squad ability between two sides, or whether it's a case that there are some players in a team that just decide, you know what, I'm not going to turn up today, I'm not going to play my best, I'm not happy, why should I? It's a shame, but I mean, these guys are paid so much, and it's distasteful, and it's what turns people away from the game of football. But in the instances that we saw a team like Leicester going on and winning the Premier League, defying the odds, and that was what drew a lot of people to the beauty of Leicester City, and to see that kind of, I wouldn't say it's unravelled in the last couple of years, but when you see the way that they've handled their managerial dismissals, it does kind of bring into question, you know, how much is enough time for a manager to turn around games. It's harder when the manager does have the backing of the team, but then he's just dismissed from under the noses of the players who. Oh, and then Alexander Arnold. I can't get the name out there. Alexander Arnold. That was carnelling in towards the post. I was a bit late there making my substitute, but yeah. Nevertheless, I think Leicester City. I mean, and when it comes to me, I was there at the 3 Southampton games when Claude Puel was in charge. In fact, I was there for his last win as Southampton manager against Middlesbrough at the Riverside, and he's somebody that I was shocked that was dismissed by, well, whether it was a dismissal or a mutual parting between the two. I was quite disappointed, but. You know, I always thought he would end up back in the league somehow. And Edwards, it's really gone belly up for Leicester City at the back. A goal that realistically I should not have scored, and Marcus Edwards needs to be careful here. It's the second time he's gone to the audience. The support in the Leicester end do not look happy. That was a goal that I really should not have scored. In fact, that's a goal that Edwards shouldn't even had to shoot off of Schmeichel. He should have buried that in the corner, but it's a goal nonetheless. It's another for Marcus Edwards. and I'll probably make the last couple of changes. In fact, I'll take the wingers off. I'll take Meyer on for Barco. I'll push. You know, I'll take Edwards off. I'll put Martinez out to right midfield, and I'll bring on Milik, which means that Ward-Prowse is not going to play today. But then again, no Leno, no Hedit, and no Van Dijk. I'm sure they'll be fine with that. They'll be enjoying the view from the supporters bench, but I'm sure Claude Puel will do a good job at Southampton. I know there's maybe people that didn't really agree with his style of football when he was at Southampton. Certainly weren't the fluid attacking team that they were under Maurizio Pellegrino, Mauricio Pochettino, and then there was just there just seemed to be a bit of a magic when Koeman was in charge. It was a shame when he decided to go to Everton for what he thought was a bigger opportunity and a bigger position to hold in the Premier League. But I'm sure Claude Puel will do a good job at Leicester. He received a bit of mixed feedback, but when's a manager ever not received any doubt when he's been employed in a job in the Premier League? Unless they're, of course, the household name like a Pep Guardiola or a Jose Mourinho of sorts, or even a Jurgen Klopp. And you look at Jurgen Klopp right now, everyone raved about him coming in at the job at Liverpool, and you look at his record right now, and he's not been having the best of time at Liverpool. And there's a chance for Meyer. It's still there. Oh, and Pedro. But that was mainly, I don't think it's entirely down to the fact that Liverpool didn't sign Van Dijk in the window, but certainly a club of that size, their squad should be so much more capable of being able to defend, especially for a team that got to a Europa League final under Klopp, and a team that is challenging in the Champions League. Their players should be up to scratch with their defending. But even he's had a lot of doubters in the background at Liverpool, and it just shows that no matter how big of a name or how small of a name you are, what your credentials are, a Premier League job is one of the most difficult jobs you could have in football because of the money involved, the pressure to stay in the league, to get results for the fans. It's so demanding, and it doesn't matter who you are. I mean, even Pep Guardiola received a lot of criticism for how was he going to be able to bring Man City up to that heights of Barcelona and Bayern Munich when he didn't come in with a squad that was exactly flourishing with the talents that he would have hoped to have had. But he's managed to get the best out of a lot of his guys this season that weren't always performing, and it's never a nice thing to see somebody not doing well at their job, especially when they're a well-liked character in football, different when they're a complete arsehole. But there we go, that is the end of the game. It wasn't really hard-hitting in the second half. But we did get the victory, we did get the result. 5-0 against Leicester City in the FA Cup. And I believe that Marcus Edwards was probably the man of the match. He wasn't, it was Fabinho. 9.2. Just shows how very valuable he is in this squad. From a defensive point, we didn't really have a lot of pressure in the second half from Leicester. And it'll be interesting to see who we draw in the FA Cup. I hate playing Chelsea. I really do. It doesn't matter. Any game I play a FIFA, it's always Chelsea in the final. Like, the game is literally scripted for Chelsea to play in the FA Cup final, or in any FA Cup game at all when it comes to being at Wembley. We've got Arsenal and Crystal Palace. Interesting. Well, I can hopefully guarantee that there will be no Arsenal-Chelsea FA Cup final repeat. With our next game being against FC... Wait, Schalke. I don't know why I was called them FC. There's some money. Vitinho has a bruised shoulder. He's out for 5 days. Oh. Injuries. Oh. Well, we completed an objective. We reached the semi-final of the FA Cup. Still to finish in a Champions Cup spot in the league. And we, at the moment, I don't think we're going to get that financial objective down. The youth development, I'm going to hopefully try and get that to 100%, to the best that I can. So let's get these guys trained up, because I really want that objective sorted soon as. I should hopefully get a couple of overalls up here. I get one up. Well, every overall helps, I guess. So we're probably... Oh, Man United. Oh yeah, forgot I'd seen it already. So, we will end this broadcast here. We will face Schalke 04 in the Champions League. Last 16, second leg. Until then, it's been a pleasure to be hosting this broadcast, and we will catch you next time for the home tie between Southampton FC and Schalke in the UEFA Champions League. Catch you later.